Hey family, so I have been talking to God about some things that is really going to transform your life. I think at this point, it's enough of Christians just kind of living the everyday life. It's time for us to be who God has created us to be. And if there's some things that are happening in our life that's hindering that or that's stopping that, it's time for us to seek the Lord about what's going to bring us into those next spaces. And one of the things that I think the Lord is showing me is a lot of times as believers, we have a hard time dealing with the process that we have to go through to become who we've even seen, maybe what somebody has prophesied to us, or even as we're praying and seeking the Lord, what God is showing us. Because I do believe that sometimes God gives us a glimpse of who we're supposed to be. And we get frustrated because we're just not sure how we're going to get there. We see it, but it's not making sense because where we are right now in our life, there's no way we're going to actually become who God said we could be. Process, though, is how we get there. And process sometimes can be the most uncomfortable part of being a believer because you have to step out and you have to believe God that whatever you're about to go through and whatever you're about to experience, that is going to work for your good. Faith says it's going to work for your good, but my circumstances say there's no way possible. Just want to offer a couple scriptures that I'm thinking about that I just want you to meditate on as you hear. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says, "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up." You can keep reading. I actually want you to take some time and spend some time meditating on what Ecclesiastes 3 is saying. But at the core of it, what you hear is you hear two different opposing things taking place. They're opposite of one another. And it would seem like one is destructive and one is beneficial. It would look like one is going to hurt you or harm you and one is going to bring you into a better place. The reality, though, is you need them both. And at particular times in your life, you're going to experience both. So here's the question. Why, Lord, do I have to go through the hard part? Why does my process have to include being torn down, things dying? Even sometimes I might feel like this is killing me. Why do I have to cry? Why do I have to grieve? Why are those the things that I have to go through? Why is that a part of my process to become who you called me to be? Well, if we're going to be honest, there's a lot of things about us that's not pleasing to the Lord. If we're going to be really, really honest with ourselves, there's some things that we've experienced that we may have even brought on our own that we wish we didn't go through, but here we are. At the end of the day, there's some stuff that God has to actually take away from us because it's not a part of our best self. We have to always remember that when we came to the Lord, we came with all of our stuff. We came with all of our baggage. We came with all of our hurt. We came with all of the things that might even include regrets. But that's not a part of the plan that God has for us. And so all of these things that we might not want to experience, it helps to break us where we need to be broken. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that breaking is a benefit. But at the end of the day, when somebody hurts their body, their bone, and it sets incorrectly, even though you think it's healing, the doctor may have to come back and break that bone so that it can be reset properly. And so when we talk about sin and we talk about what sin has done, we've been growing and we've been hardening and we've been going through some things in life and things have not been set correctly. Our mindsets aren't set correctly. Some of the ways we feel and see, it's not set correctly. And so hardships in life, it helps process us to a point where God can reset us and put us back in place, put our mindset back in place, our perspective back in place. All those things that need to be reset, God uses hardships. He uses difficult moments to reset those parts of us so that we are realigned with His will, realigned with His mindset and His character. We can never forget that God created us to be like Him. We can't ever move away from the fact that if we truly want God's plan, it has to look like His image. It has to be like His plan when He created the earth. And so when you go through those things, it is to make you more like Him so that when you are completely healed and you're completely put back together the way God designed you, you can actually move forward in the things that God has and be ready to take on whatever is going to happen once you are transformed. I'm a firm believer that when I seek the Lord and the Lord tells me that he has better, I know that better means that it's going to be better than where I am now. Doesn't mean I understand it. Doesn't mean that I like it in the mindset that I have. But I trust God enough to know that he knows better, and where I'm at can't possibly be where I'm supposed to be. So I just want to encourage you today that if you are going through some things and it feels like the process is just overwhelming, that is your moment to go back to the Lord and say, Lord, what are you trying to do with me right now? Where are you trying to break me? Where are you trying to reset me? You might not like the answer, but you got to trust that God knows best. His love for you will cover a multitude of everything, even the most hard, most difficult times. Don't let the process run you away from God. Use your faith to let that process draw you closer to him so that in his presence, everything that you're experiencing will be filled with his mercy, his love, and his comfort. I promise you, you'll make it out. I promise you, you'll be better than you were before. And at the end, you'll get and become who God has called you to be. This is your moment. This is your time. All right? Don't run from the process. He loves you too much to leave you where you are. All right? So until next time, God bless you.